Okay, I thought the news coverage last weekend of the couple of dudes that showed up on that white rally was horrific because the media has gone from covering events to cheerleading one side, essentially, to beat up the other. They called all the protesters anti-fascist protesters. There are Antifa guys there. They're communists, right? They're guys who throw things at police. We shouldn't be treating them with some sort of respect. The reality is there was an NBC crew attacked by a bunch of Antifa folks at that rally. That seems to be fine. But if a couple of fat white redneck dudes had done that, it would have been a giant story. Look, there are people on both sides who have strong personal feelings, and I think we got to get back in this country to letting people say what the hell they want. Let the marketplace of ideas work it out.
We all have a constitutional right to speak our mind.
Not anymore.
Speak freely.
Not anymore.
And allegedly, we can do that without consequences. And I say allegedly because the facts bear something different. When you speak your mind in this nation, you have a right to be challenged and held accountable for what you say.
Yep.
But I want to point out something significant about that protest march this past weekend. Did you see the behavior, the attacks, the fights, attacking police officers, getting in the face of police officers, throwing canisters at cops, bottles at cops? But no media outlet said these are thugs. No media outlet said, look at these criminals
because
attacking
they're
police
cheerleading
officers.
now, Quanell.
No, because they were white protesters attacking those cops and fighting other white people who were racist holding a protest march. But when you did it in Ferguson, brothers and sisters, we were thugs. In New York for Eric Garner, we're thugs. In Baton Rouge, when we protest, we're thugs and criminals. But when little white kids protest and do the same thing that we did, that same language is not used in the media and by America's leadership to describe their crazy children when they protest.
See, and I look at it differently. I look at it as liberal conservative because I think the national media has just gone off the rails. They have chosen a side, and this isn't to defend white supremacists, white nationalists, whatever. Look, I think people ought to have a right to say what the hell they want, right? And if it's stupid, but they have a right to say it, right? I think the Antifa people have a right to say what they want. But I think it's about the fact that the Antifa people are leading the violent charge against those so-called fascists, and the media likes that.
No,
I don't think it's a black thing at all.
This out. Why is it when black people protest the same way, they bring in the National Guard with military weapons and tanks, and the police officers are standing out there with assault rifles?
Well,
not one cop was out there with an assault rifle. And in fact, where was the National Guard when you were dealing with those crazy little white kids throwing bottles at cops and fighting the police? The same attitude and disposition toward their protesters is different when we protest.
And in Ferguson, when they started burning buildings, does it really matter what color they are?
But guess what, though? When you beat the hell out of cops and shooting them with bottles and using pepper spray against them, is that not the same thing? But yet, no assault rifles against them, no military to deal with your children when they deal like that with police officers in their protests. So but ours, different standard.
So your position is they didn't mess with those people because they were white?
No, my position is they had the complexion for the protection.